You've been lied to about consistency. Every video tells you the same thing. Grind harder. Want it more. Show up every damn day. And you nod. You feel the fire. And 3 weeks later, you're exactly where you started. Again. Here's what nobody says. If you've quit before, you don't have a discipline problem. You have a design problem. You built a plan that only works when you feel amazing. And you almost never feel amazing. So today, forget everything you think you know. We're not going to talk about forcing yourself. We're going to talk about something stronger than motivation, deeper than discipline. And almost nobody on this platform is teaching it. By the end of this video, you'll understand why consistent people aren't tougher than you. They're just built different on the inside, and you'll know exactly how to build that. Let's go. Let me ask you something. Why is it so easy to be consistent at the wrong things? You scroll every single day without fail. You hit snooze with surgical precision. You can doom scroll for 2 hours and never miss a session. You are incredibly consistent, just at things that make you weaker. So drop the story that you're lazy. You're not lazy. You're consistent at the wrong defaults. Here's the trap most men fall into. They design their entire life for their best self. The version of them that's rested, motivated, fired up, full tank of energy. They plan the perfect 90-minute workout, the perfect meal prep, the perfect 5 a.m. morning routine. And then real life shows up. You sleep badly, work runs late, your girl's stressed, your phone won't stop buzzing. And suddenly, that perfect plan feels impossible, so you skip it. And skipping once becomes skipping twice. And the chain breaks. That's not weakness. That's a system that was never designed to survive a bad day. If your standard only works when conditions are perfect, it will collapse. The second conditions get real, and conditions are always going to get real. Think about the last 2 weeks of your life. How many days went exactly as planned? Be honest. Maybe 2. Maybe none. So why would you build your future on the assumption that every day is a good day? Here's what the top 1% actually do. They don't rely on willpower. They don't rely on motivation. They engineer their environment so that the right behavior is the path of least resistance. They put the gym bag by the door the night before. They delete the distracting apps. They structure their life so the default is growth, not decay. When your workout only happens on perfect days, nothing gets built. But when your environment makes showing up easier than not showing up, you become unstoppable. Here's what's even deeper than environment. The most consistent men I know don't think about consistency at all. They think about identity. They don't say, I'm trying to work out more. They say, I'm someone who trains. Not I'm trying to eat better, but I'm someone who respects his body. Every action you take is a vote for the kind of man you are. And when you start voting right, consistency stops being something you force. It becomes who you are. Now most people hear this and they think, okay, I just need to lower my standards. Do less. Aim smaller. That's not what I'm saying. The minimum effective dose isn't about doing less. It's about doing the right things consistently, so they compound over time. Think about this. If you train 3 times a week, even on the hard weeks, what happens in 6 months? You build a real body. If you read 10 pages a day, even when you're tired, what happens in a year? You've read 36 books. 36. That's not motivation. That's math. The problem isn't your goals. The problem is you designed a system where you can only hit those goals when everything lines up perfectly. And nothing ever lines up perfectly. So here's the shift. On your best days, do more. On your average days, do the standard. On your worst days, do the minimum, but always do something. The man who puts in 30 minutes on his worst day is building an identity. The man who skips is confirming a story about himself. And stories compound just as fast as habits do. Now let me tell you something about momentum. When you break the chain, and you will break it sometimes, most men make one critical mistake. They try to start over from scratch. The Monday reset, the new program, the perfect comeback plan. Stop doing that. When you miss a day, come back the next day. Not next Monday. Not after the weekend. Tomorrow. Because missing once is an accident. Missing twice is a pattern. And patterns become who you are. The fastest way to rebuild momentum is to never let 2 bad days happen back to back. 1 bad day followed by 1 good day? That's being human. 2 bad days in a row? That's a system starting to fail. Your only rule, never miss twice. So here's your challenge. This week, don't try to be perfect. Try to be consistent on your worst day. Pick one habit that matters. Decide what the minimum version looks like. The version you can do even when you're exhausted, stressed, and nothing is working. Not the perfect version, the survivable version. Design one thing in your environment that makes the right choice automatic. And do it even when you don't want to, because that is how you become someone who doesn't quit. Not through more willpower, but through a system that is stronger than your weakness. And if your habit can survive your worst day, it will absolutely thrive on your best ones.